All right, this is my favorite day of the month, or one of them, that is when Erank drops their Trend Buzz report for the previous month on Etsy and other marketplaces. And we're going to just dig into this. I haven't really explored it very much today. I'm going to just kind of do it live as recording. We'll see what we can find, anything new, interesting, out of the ordinary. We're going to be looking for those long tail keywords that are so precious and really enhance the shopping experience and drive traffic to your shop. So what I have here, you're looking at the eRank Pro version, which gives you all the data you could ever want. But we're going to just dig into mostly what you can see even with an eRank free account, which they will give you the top 5 Etsy keywords of the month, and they will do that in every category. So they have all the categories drilled down here on the left, and we'll go into those and talk about them and really dig in, see what more data we can find. So I recommend logging in to eRank, following along with me, maybe digging into some of these keywords that really fit your brand, your shop, your product line, what you're selling, and create a list along with me. Now, the keyword list, I believe, is only a pro tool. So if you have the free version, you can follow along with me with the old-fashioned way with pen and paper and write down some of these keywords that pop up that seem like they'll be winners for you. For those of you who have the pro version, keyword list is one of my favorite tools. I use it all the time, and it's just down here in the corner. Or you can go to Tools, Keyword Lists, and you just click here, open this up, and we're going to do a new list. And I'm going to name this new list February 2021 Trending. And this is just going to be a general list that I can reference later without having to, dig into this buzzing thing constantly and trying to remember, where did I find that one or whatever. It's all in here for me. I can kind of do that. So we're going to look here at the very top of the page, the first 5 keywords that were the most popular. Now, personalized gifts, always. That's always the number 1 keyword for a long time running here on Etsy. Gift for him, and that's expected because the majority of shoppers on Etsy, I believe, in general, we can assume they're women, so they're going to be shopping for their husband, their boyfriend, the other men in their life for Valentine's Day. Next would be rings, and we also have engagement rings at number 5. Valentine's Day, again, is one of those big engagement holidays. So anyone who was going to have a wedding engagement proposal, marriage proposal on Valentine's Day was searching for engagement rings. In January, you can see a big spike, and then February, the spike was still there, pretty high. And then earrings was number 4. And earrings looks like a very consistent graph here. Looks like it's always quite popular. Dips down in the summertime a little bit, it looks like, possibly because people are maybe outdoors more, swimming more, that they don't need earrings. I don't know. That's just me taking a guess at that. All right, now we're going to go into each of the categories and just look at the top 5 in each of these categories and see what we can learn. So we're going to go into accessories. Top 5 accessories searched in February 2021. We had keychain, self-defense keychain, vintage, pins, and crown. So it looks like keychain is very popular. It's grown this year to a quite significant portion of the market. And then self-defense keychain has popped up in the last few months. So if you do make keychains, this might be an area to look into if you can possibly add one of the self-defense mechanisms onto your keychain. I don't know the specifics of it, what you would need to look into. I'm sure there's lots of legal issues with some of that stuff, but do your research. That might be something to look into. Vintage is always very consistent. And we look at this graph and it's kind of lower. It seems like it's lower than these. This doesn't mean much. This just means this has been consistently searched. And we know the search this past month was over 18,000 searches, which is lower than typically. So vintage is always a pretty good category to be in. And pins, popular, and crown, which I don't know what they would mean by crown. I would dig into that one more to find out what that is, but that's only 11,782 searches last month as compared to these other four, which have much higher, and keychain being the highest by double of the number 2 self-defense keychain. So that's really interesting. Let's go into art and collectibles. In the top 5 here, wall decor, no surprise there. SVG, again, no surprise. Anime, wall art, and Taylor Swift, which you can't sell anything Taylor Swift specific using her likeness, using her name, using her brand. Anything associated with that is going to be a big no-no, even though people search for it. So don't use her name anywhere unless you have, for somehow, the license to do it. Wall decor and wall art, I would kind of put those in the same general thing. And wall decor is down from its spike over late summer, early fall, but still one of the highest searches on Etsy month to month, even with this dip. So there you go. And SVG, his course is going to dip right now. SVG is always a month or two before any big holiday. So if you do sell printables, SVG, for people who sell on Etsy or crafters, you want to look 2 to 3 months ahead. People are going to be buying SVG to create items for Mother's Day and things now, and then Christmas and other holiday time, winter holidays, Thanksgiving, probably in August. So you want to be building that up previous. So you can see this big spike would have been for that. Anime in general, but be careful if you do anything that is trademarked, again, copyrighted. You can't do that. You have to be very careful with what you produce. And the same thing with wall and wall decor. You can't just copy someone's work and sell a printable. It has to be original. So if you are anime artist, you want to create original artwork or anime related things. Bags and purses is the next category. In the top 5 here, Louis Vuitton. So this would be specific for vintage sellers. If you sell vintage purses or vintage fashion, Louis Vuitton looks like it's the top search fairly consistently as far as designer. You cannot create anything Louis Vuitton that is trademarked. That is a big no-no. Stay away from it. But if you are a vintage seller, you can sell vintage purses and other products they put out that you found at thrift stores, things like that. Tote bag is up there and seems to be having a popularity boom in the last year. Personalized wallet, that's a popular gift, I would assume, for men typically, but women have wallets too. Purse, very general category. So I would, drill down on that and find out what are the popular purses out there. And budget binder, that's more of a planner accessory. So, but that's definitely having a big spike the last 2 months. So if you are making planners or kits for planning, think about doing a budget binder. People are thinking about taxes. People are thinking about their business for the next quarter, growing there's a lot of new Etsy businesses out there, and you can definitely create a specific budget binder for Etsy sellers that would do very well, I'm sure. Bath and Beauty. Top 5, self-care, big popular one you can see. Once that pandemic hit, self-care boomed, and it's going to make a comeback. This is just a dip because of the holiday season, winter. People kind of stop thinking about themselves so much, but that's going to start picking up once the weather changes in the north. Face mask. This is always has been up there very consistently, and 58,000 searches puts it at number 2 in bath and beauty category, and is way down from its obvious high, record high, and masks right below it. So you can still add these two, and then mask is number 5. So masks are still huge. So you add all that together, that's 128,000 searches for masks still. Face masks are a top item. A lot of places are starting to release some of the mask mandates in these states with smaller populations and cases dropping and stuff. So it may not be the time to burst onto the scene with face masks, but if they're doing well for you, I would keep them going. And if there's an innovation or a new trend in the masks category, you want to follow that if you are a mask seller. Don't stagnate on the masks. You want to keep innovating and keep those people who are using and replacing their masks to keep buying. And then Harry Potter, number 4, no, stay away from Harry Potter. Nothing with Harry Potter name that is trademarked. Books, movies, and music. So this is a lower search category in the top 5, with the highest search being just 13,700 searches last month, which is books. I'm thinking that's probably for the vintage sellers selling books, or something to that effect, maybe for the scrapbooking crowd, old books. Journal is at the lowest point it looks like in the past 12 months, but it's still a top search in this category. Bookmark and notebook, and then records. So vinyl records, I'm guessing, unless this, digging into these words, sometimes I can assume like, oh, vinyl records are making a comeback, but it could be something else. I don't know. There's always trends happening, and to really figure it out, you would want to dig in there and find out what are the records that people are searching for. In clothing, so lingerie, no surprise there, and corset and lingerie. So we have 3 lingerie garters, corset, and lingerie. 3 of the top 5 in clothing are lingerie or underwear related, and that's because of Valentine's Day, I would guess. And I would not expect this to continue at this spike, because this is a pretty good amount of searches for each of these. But if you are a seller of this kind of stuff, if you know that this kind of stuff spikes in February, you want to have these on the market and your product line ready for Valentine's Day in December, so you're established and can pick up those people in January that start shopping for this stuff. Free Britney, now that's gonna be a gray area as far as trademark and stuff. I would go to the trademark database and put that in. I would put in Free Britney, and then I would put in Britney as well, just to see if that's a trademark issue. And you don't want to use any of her likeness on anything you create with that. Nike crew neck would just be for the vintage sellers. You would never use that keyword for anything new. You want to stay away from Nike, again, trademarked. Craft supplies and tools in the top 5. Personalized gifts, which that's just dumped into this category. So we're going to just ignore that one. Crystals have been very hot, as you can see by the graph. This past year, people have been taking self-care, so seriously for themselves, and some people have been leaning towards these healing crystals and everything. So if you are a jewelry maker or you sell crystals, do your research into crystals and learn about them so you can talk to people who shop for them and give them what they're looking for. Gifts, no, nothing to really elaborate on that one. Stickers has been super popular the past year or more. It would be really tough to do a sticker shop unless you have something really specific to say, but you can dig into the stickers and find some more specific ideas. And then candles, another one that's been very popular, with its lowest point here this year at 53,000 searches, which is incredibly good. So candles is another very competitive category, but if you can dig into candles, click in there, find some keywords that are more specific and will get you where you want to be. Okay, electronics and accessories. This one's kind of looks like a catch-all category with stickers, anime, kawaii, keycaps, and Animal Crossing, which is a video game. I think you want to avoid that for trademarks. Keycaps, I don't know what that is. So you have to do some research on that. Kawaii has been very popular in the last year and shows that it's still very popular. Home and living, gift for him, wall decor, Valentine's Day gift for him, press friends gifts, and wreath. So wreath, that's really interesting. That's up there. You can see in the past 2 months, this has just really boomed, which is surprising because you would think that it would have boomed more in the fall. When you think about decorating for the holidays, you get a wreath. So I find that interesting. So I would be very curious about digging into wreath and finding out exactly what those people are shopping for when they're searching for a wreath. In the jewelry category, rings, earrings, engagement rings, necklaces, and crystals. So all these we've seen before with the spike for Valentine's Day makes sense. These are all very general categories, so you would have to drill down more because jewelry being such a competitive category on Etsy, I think it's one of the categories with the most items. You really have to dig in, get specific, and find those long tail keywords. Paper and party supplies, Valentine's card, Valentine, bachelorette party, and Valentine's Day. So bachelorette party has been fairly consistent in the past year, not near its spike, but it's still a thing. Girls are still doing these bachelorette parties, and the rest being Valentine's Day. So you can see that for paper and party supplies, this Valentine stuff is one of the top searches in January and February. So you want to make sure you have your inventory full and in stock in December at the latest, so you can catch that ride of people who shopping for Valentine's Day in January, which looks like when they mostly do it. Pet supplies, dog collar, dog, pet gifts, dog tag, and dog harness. Sorry, cat people, it looks like everyone's into dogs. That's the hot search. Cats had it for a long time. They were number one, but now it's dogs. So these are definitely things that you need to think about making more of if you are in the pet selling market. And shoes, Air Force One Custom, slippers, and boots. Air Force One and Air Force One Custom, that's a popular new Etsy market where you take the Air Force Ones and custom paint them and everything like that. So that's still trending, still popular. It's been up there for a long time. It's still going. It's not super high searches, but this is a fairly niche product. I'm not sure how competitive it is at the moment, but it might still be worth looking into if you do anything custom like that. All right. And then toys and games, slime, squishmallow, charms, puzzle, dice, and so we have slime was peaked I think that was last winter when slime peaked. Still really popular though. I think you'd have to do a lot of research to see if there's maybe a niche slime out there. Squishmallow is trademarked. Charms. So charms are very popular still consistently every month. This looks like a very stable search with the spike last year. Puzzle. This one looks a little rocky to me. If you make puzzles, I would definitely dig into this and find out which ones have a more consistent search. And dice, curious. I would go into Etsy in a private browser or an incognito browser and search for dice and find out what is the best seller in dice. I am very curious. All right, vintage. Vintage rings, vintage jewelry, vintage dress, and vintage sweatshirt. And these look like they are all dipping from their spikes earlier for the holidays. But the search for vintage in general seems to be very consistent. In weddings, we have necklaces, wedding decorations, bridesmaids' gifts, keychain, and lingerie garters. I think the lingerie garters is just a leftover from Valentine's Day. Bridesmaid gifts, even with the dip in weddings because of pandemic over the summer, bridesmaid gifts seems very consistent. Wedding decorations. So anyone who's been in the wedding market understands that people search for weddings like the afternoon of their engagement. So this is a lot of just people searching and adding to cart and adding to their search lists and stuff like that. But you want to be out there, at Valentine's Day with your wedding merch to get people liking and favoriting and finding your stuff to buy later. And necklaces we already talked about. And then the adult category I'm going to skip just for the sake of YouTube. Okay, I'm going to go back to all, and we're just going to drill down a little bit more. So let's go into personalized gifts. All right, now again, I have Erank Pro, so I have a lot more data than you will see with the free version. And we're just going to go through the different columns here. Now, if you have the free version, all you see is Etsy competition and the character count. The rest of it is hidden. So what I like to do is, of course, I want to look at the competition. Like, you want to always go into the lower competition keywords. But I like to look at this column called average click-through rate. And this separates the people, the scrollers, and the people who click with an intent to buy or favorite an item. So I like to sort by click-through rate. Now, if you have the Erank free version, you can't do this. You can only do by Etsy competition. So it will take you a little bit longer to analyze the listings. And in fact, you won't have any idea what they are clicking through, what's really popular. But so I use a combination of the click-through rate and then the search trend. And these search trends with just one or two little spikes, I'm not really that interested in, because those can be just flukes searches. So I'm going to scroll down until I see one that has multiple searches with a high click-through rate. And here we go. Personalized anniversary gifts has a very high click-through rate, very competitive category though. So I'm going to keep going. keep on going here. Personalized golf gifts has a few spikes. That could potentially be a good category. All right, keep going, keep going. Sometimes you can't find something. Personalized hunting gifts has a couple spikes. I would guess that these spikes are indicative of when hunting seasons open. So if you are in that world and understand when there's hunting seasons typically start, it might be something to look into. That could possibly be one. All right, keep going. And here's a couple big spikes. Golf gifts for men personalized. Golf gifts again. All right, so we didn't find anything that I would say would be a winner using the keyword personalized gifts, to be honest. All these long tail keywords are extremely competitive. So that's just how it works sometimes. So I'm going to go back, and then we're going to look under gift for him. And then I'm going to do the same thing, average click-through rate. All right, here we go. First one right off the bat, spa gift set. Lots of searches, fairly consistent. It spiked. This is November and December for Christmas. The competition isn't maxed out. We know it's 43,000 or so. So there's definitely room in this one. And here's another one, expecting mom gift. There's searches throughout the year. There's one big spike here, but these are all searches. Very high click-through rate and not a lot of competition. So that's another good one. And right below it, handwriting gift. This one's a great one too, with more searches, more spikes throughout the past year, low competition. Here's another one. This is a great, and what we're finding is that gift for him isn't what eRank is searching for. They're kind of using the gift tag and showing us everything. So this is definitely a better drill down. Self-care gift box, succulent gift box, first year anniversary gift for boyfriend. I mean, that's a fantastic, very fantastic, specific long tail keyword. Spa gift basket. Father of the bride gift. That's a great one. 21st birthday gift for her. So you can see there's a lot in here, and we can keep going on this, but I'm going to move on to the next keyword, and that was rings, which with engagement rings, there's this spike, but rings consistently has been a growing trend. So we'll go into rings and see what jumps out of us. And with jewelry being a super competitive category, this might be a very hard one, but we'll find something, I'm sure. All right, I'm going to sort by average click-through rate. And right off the bat, we find one, gay rings. That is searched a few times, quite a few average searches. That would be a great one. This is an even better one here. Super high click-through rate, high search average, and you see it spread out throughout the year. It kind of pops up and dips, pops up and dips. So silicone rings. And this looks like a recent trend that came out of nowhere during the holidays and maybe will die away or it might continue on, but this is one to watch for sure. If it just had its spike and it's over, or if it's going to come back. So homemade rings. All right. Funky rings, it's having its moment right now. Last month was the most searches for funky rings in its time on Etsy, and you can see it was so high that these little searches just kind of threw the skew off. Those are still probably great monthly searches. So I would say funky rings would be a great design thing to go into. Use that keyword. All right, and best friends rings, fantastic. Mood rings, those are making a comeback apparently. Initial rings, more competitive, but still a really good high click-through rate. Toe rings, as you can see, there's, even though the jewelry category is so super saturated, there's still room for people to make rings and have a pretty good potential of getting ranked on the search with a lot of these keywords. Okay, and let's go back. I think there was one more we were going to look into. Oh, right, earrings. All right, let's see what we've got. Okay, earrings. Here we go. So, solid gold hoop earrings. Popular search, and has its ups and downs, but still getting search results every month. Safety pin earrings, seems like it has its trends and kind of comes back and goes away. So if you can come up with something innovative in that one, I think that would be a good one to go for as well. Small gold hoop earrings, I think we're getting the message. Gold hoop earrings are in, and there's a lot of people selling gold hoop earrings, but if you can be specific and do solid gold hoop earrings or small as your main keywords, you could definitely get a chunk of this marketplace. And it seems like hoops are in, tiny hoop, evil eye earrings, fruit earrings, worm on a string earrings. Not sure what that is, if that's a brand, a charm, a type of, so I would search more about that, but that is very low competition and quite highly searched. So if you can figure out what that is, I would make that. Goat ear. No, I wouldn't do that. That just had a spike a year ago. All right, so you can see cherry earrings. There's definitely room for people who make earrings. Get into Erank, search. Even if you have the free version, go through the low competition, sort by competition here. And though you can't see the search trend or any of these other characters, you can get an idea. If you go on Etsy and do some backward searches for these items, and you can do some research and find out if people are still searching for these things or if their trend's kind of over. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful with analyzing and diving into the trend buzz report. I'm going to definitely do some more digging and into the categories that I sell on Etsy. You can see that jewelry, as expected, was very popular, being Valentine's Day in the month of February. But if you're looking for something more specific to your shop, this is just how I go about finding what's trending, what's falling off, what's consistent throughout the year. And if you have eRank Pro, you can easily dive into this report and get super specific and find those keywords, find those long tail keywords to use on your listings and give you ideas of what products to make next or to get ready for Valentine's Day in 2022. All right, so you can visit our website, whatsy.com, and try out our pricing calculator to help you with pricing your listings so you're priced for profit. And This is super important with all the changes to Etsy offsite ads. Recently, we're all going to be feeling the pain of that if we get put in some blog out there and it goes on, one of our products goes viral. You got to be ready. You got to have your inventory in order and you got to have your pricing in order. So check out our Etsy calculator and let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me what keywords are you going to look into? What products did we talk about today that fit your shop or you might want to try out and experiment with? Let us know. I want to know what you think. And if there's any more in-depth stuff you want me to go into in Erank, let me know in the comments below. You know, ask your questions. I'll try and get back to you and make videos that are more helpful. This is just how I go about going through this data every time Erank puts out its Trend Buzz report. Okay, thanks for watching. Give this video a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.